everyone, and welcome back to the JaxReia Corporate Sponsor Highlight Series. I am Nasreen Ali, your host and president of the Jacksonville Real Estate Investors Association. I am joined today by my guest, Cameron Gaskill, and we are coming to you from Jekyll Brewing, a craft brewery with patio deck views of Jacksonville Beach. Cameron, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You have been, you're not a stranger to the JaxReia community. You're not a stranger to the real estate community.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you've been on HGTV. You have written a book.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some star quality there. But first and foremost, you have a renovation company, Suncoast, and you are corporate sponsors of JaxReia. Tell us more about Suncoast and what you do for the real estate investing community.
So Suncoast Renovations, we started about, it's been probably 18 years now. And it was really just a company that I made for accounting purposes. And I was doing my own work. I was the one that laid the tile and painted and really just doing odds and end jobs is all I was doing. I was trying to flip houses, and so I would do that on the side. And then I just kept getting more jobs. And then I needed a helper, another helper. And before I knew it, I realized, I kind of got a company here. And so it just grew from that. And then we started using subs and, plumbers, electricians, and started doing more of the full renovation where we just take on everything like a turnkey.
Right.
And so we could get with an investor and tell them, look, you can let us do the whole job all the way from demo to the cleaning crew at the end and give them the keys, or we could just do parts of it. So we kind of just grew it as the need of the investors.
Wow. Okay. So 18 years ago, you were doing your own flips.
Mm-hmm.
What led you to want to do flips?
I was tired of being broke. I was tired of having debt, and I knew I wanted to do something to get out of the rat race and change my life. And I had tried the stock market and found out I'm very bad at that. And so I thought, since I was in construction, maybe flipping houses would be something I would be good at.
So you had a background in construction before flipping houses. Yeah. Okay. And when did you get networked with the REIA?
So I had been attempting to flip houses for a few years, actually. And I met somebody who had lunch with me that was a big-time investor. And he told me, based on my lack of knowledge, that going to JaxReia would be a good idea. And I did not know what JaxReia was at the time. So when I went and saw it was a big meeting and, they had speakers there, but what I noticed is they had vendors. And so since I owned a construction company, I thought it would be beneficial to me to become a sponsor or a vendor and then have a table there, meet new investors, and possibly get more work. That was kind of how I got my foot in the door.
Right. Yeah. And you have since served on the board, so there was some passion for it there. What drove you to want to serve?
So once I kind of got better at flipping houses, I think when you're in that inner circle, people kind of get to know who you are, whether you're good or not so good, or you do a lot or not a lot. And I kind of started getting a pretty good reputation, and somebody had asked me if I would get on the board, and they wanted some new faces, and I thought, sure, why not? I'll try it out. And once I got on, it was very interesting, kind of being a part of growing the organization, making some changes. I got to see a lot of parts of speaking and just running the organization that I didn't know about. So it was really cool to see the backside of things and get a better understanding. And the biggest thing that I liked was that I got to rub shoulders with people that would help me progress with what I was trying to do.
Right, sure. Networking and getting to know those people. And getting those people to know you. So when you met and you had lunch with this investor and he sent you to the REIA, you said it was based on what he perceived as your lack of knowledge. Yeah. And when you showed up, you saw value in the relationships and the vendors. Did you also take the classes and get into the educational part of it?
Yeah, I went to a lot of the quick start classes. I went to probably every single open mic night to try to, see if I could get a deal or find somebody who had money or just see what was really going on out there. And I went to a couple of the networking, the outside of the actual classes. I went to those as well. And it was just interesting because I would start noticing, like, you see the same people.
Yeah.
And those were usually the big players. Right. And, that's the ones that I wanted to gravitate towards because it's kind of, I had this belief of like, hang out with the people you want to be like. So if you want to be a big-time real estate investor, try to hang out with big-time real estate investors. And that's what I was trying to do.
It's interesting how often we come across that comment. You kind of have to just find like-minded people around you to inspire you.
Yeah.
So on the note of education, you are now one of our teachers. You instruct on rehabbing and working with contractors. You teach 2 of our quick start classes. In fact, you're teaching tonight.
Yep.
So of everything you teach, you did express you have a passion for teaching when we talked outside of this conversation. What do you think is the most important piece of information someone who's wanting to invest in real estate can have to get them started? That's kind of a loaded question. But yeah.
No, it's actually a great question because it's not really a one-word answer or anything. It's fear. Getting over the fear is really, really hard, whether it's the fear of talking to people. If you have a seller and you want to try to buy their house, there's people who have a fear of that. There's a fear of looking at a house and figuring out how much the rehab's going to cost, or even knowing what to do or how to manage it. There's all these different things that different people have fears of, and these classes will help you get over that because it covers pretty much everything from contracts, or how to deal with a contractor, wholesaling, flipping, rentals. I mean, we cover everything at JaxReia. So you can really get almost everything you need just from going to quick start classes and try to help get over the fear. You won't get over it completely from classes. You get over that from experience.
Yes.
But it'll help give you the confidence to move forward.
Right.
And I think that's what investors do. They don't move forward. They just kind of keep saying, I wish I could find a house. I wish I could find money or both. And they don't really take the steps to actually find those things. They just keep saying they want them.
Right.
And so at JaxReia, we kind of help try to push them in that direction.
Yeah. It's an interesting point. One of the things we see sometimes people taking the classes month after month, maybe a year goes by and they haven't done a deal because they're still holding on to that fear and perhaps trying to come up with a foolproof plan for investing. Would you say such a thing exists?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We call it paralysis analysis. You see a house, you analyze it, you think it works, but you're still afraid.
Sure.
And numbers are numbers. If they work, they work. It's always going to be like that. And so just trust the numbers. If somebody teaches you something, you've got to go out there and do it. If you make a mistake, oh well. Yeah. Because here's the thing, you're going to make a mistake. You're not going to be perfect at this. Nobody is.
Right. And that's really getting to, is there such a thing as a foolproof plan in real estate?
No.
And I think if people embrace that and understand that everybody is going to make a mistake, then it's not that big of a fear to overcome.
Yeah. The question is, can you push through it? So when I got started, I wanted to flip houses. My first, I think, 2 houses that I bought, I flipped them. I did the flip myself, put them on the market, and they never sold. And they sat there for a year and did not sell. Now, that's because they were in war zones. They were 2-bedroom, 1 bath. They were just not flippable houses. They were rental houses. And one of them was actually a drug house when I bought it. So it wasn't a great part of town. And so what happened was when my year came up, my note was due. My hard money loan was due. I didn't know what to do. So I asked the wholesaler that I bought the house from, what do I do? And he said, you need to rent it out. Go to the bank and do a cash out refi. And I didn't even know what those words meant at the time. And so I went to the bank, asked for a cash out refi, and they gave me one. I put money in my pocket. I still had a rental property. I was getting income. And I thought, my whole plan changed. I'm going to do rentals. But this was in 06. So I had about a year of that, and then the market completely collapsed, and I lost everything. And I had to start all over. And so when I started over, I had learned so much from my mistakes that I said, okay, I'm going to go back to my plan, my original plan of flipping houses, and I've never looked back since. And I don't own any rentals to this day. I've gotten rid of all that stuff, and it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, that's not my field.
Wow. So. Yeah. Your class many years ago was the first JaxReia class I ever took, and you taught it, and I took it again last week. I think the first time I took it was in 2017, and I learned so much, but I was really new, and I think I made every single mistake, and I violated, and I looked at my own handwriting of the notes, and I it's so, you learn something, but until you do it, you really, it's not kind of sinking in. And when I took your class last week, I thought to myself, I wish I'd made these mistakes earlier, because I am going to make the mistakes. So I think the lesson for me is for someone who's hesitating just go ahead, go out there and do the deal. Do as much due diligence as you can, but just get it done.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, it's just like I said in the class. I said, where else can you learn and make a big mistake and still get paid for it? You know, so if you want to make $20,000 on a flip and you make a big mistake that costs you $10,000, you only make $10,000.
Right.
That's not bad for making a mistake. Where most things that you do in life, you make a mistake, it costs you money. So you just can't be afraid of failing. You're going to fail, and you have to be completely okay and comfortable with that, and just know that every time I fail, I'm going to learn from that, and I'm just going to get better.
I love it. And that's been the power of the REIA for me, is that in learning that it's okay to make mistakes, and then being surrounded by a supportive environment that's going to help me figure out an exit strategy. So, well, Cameron, thank you so much for coming here and sharing your time with us. I know you're very busy. Thank you for being a corporate sponsor. Thank you for being an instructor. Thank you for serving on the board and everything that you've done for JaxReia.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I love teaching. I love coming here and hanging out with everybody and meeting new people that want to get into flipping and help them out the best we can. So.
It's wonderful. Looking forward to spending more time with you and learning more from you.
Tonight.
Yes. There you have it, guys. Thank you so much. And if you want to learn more, be sure to look us up on JaxReia.com.